believe that they can be a law unto themselves.
Can I make you an example so that you know that the law doesn't allow them? Recently, now, the courts ruled that Johannesburg precinct South Africans, the bylaws need to be enforced, and those bylaws say it's South Africans that are supposed to be trading. But do you know that majority of the people that were trading there were foreigners? It's only now that South Africans are saying we're tired of our laws not being respected, that they're actually enforcing those bylaws and removing people who are not South African. Our laws do not allow for people who are undocumented to live in buildings. Our laws do not allow for people who are undocumented to run businesses and open the streets. They don't allow that. But you know, if you go and tell the police what they're going to tell you, we don't have the capacity, because that's
so apparently Jacinta's TikTok page was disabled. Yes, all of a sudden it was disabled, and also she could not be found. And allegedly Jacinta went missing. Yes, but it looks like she's okay. She's safe, and BBC interviewed her, and let's hear what she has to say. Yes, it looks like she has a message for us. And also, before she, on social media, people were saying she was missing. Let's also see people's reactions when people noticed or thought she was missing. Yes, so let's go watch, and we'll be right back. And also, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and also share thoughts in the comment section below. Okay?
Allegedly, uthi umlungu. Uthi. They suspect that Jacinta, she's missing. And then they say even Ngizwe confirmed that they try to call her. They can't get hold of her. No, guys. Please. Even if someone kidnap her, release her. We need her. This is time for her to be talking. It's not the time for her to disappear. No. You guys who don't know the time of kidnapping someone, if it is true, allegedly, or maybe she's in the vacation. This is not the time for vacation. This is the time for her to be talking. You guys who can't tell me that she disappeared. That is not it. Please, guys, find Jacinta. We need her. This is time for her to use her voice. Please, we need her.
Hey guys, so some very disturbing news. Nothing is confirmed or anything like that, but it seems like Jacinta Ngobese Zuma has apparently just gone missing. If you haven't already seen my previous post, I posted about the fact that her social media platforms have all been, either deleted or blocked or banned, and nobody's seen or heard from her in a little while. We've even heard that some of her family members said they're trying to get hold of her and her phone has been off. So she's basically gone MIA. We also saw and heard from Ngizwe Mchunu saying that he even can't get hold of her, and that apparently he's saying she's gone missing. So there's a bit of concern now for her well-being, because nobody knows where she is or what's happened to her. She's just gone, like I said, MIA, missing. Nobody can seem to get hold of her. So the public are somewhat, I've seen some people in tears and are very concerned about Jacinta's safety, whether, conspiracies are saying that was she perhaps, kidnapped, or is she maybe being held somewhere? Did something happen to her? Or was she just, laying low in hiding because of all the heat that she's getting from, foreigners and certain, locals in regards to the March and March protests that she's been railing over the past few months. But it is a bit concerning that she has, disappeared, gone missing. Nobody's heard from her. Nobody knows where she is. Nobody knows if she's okay or if she's not okay. If any of you know or are in contact with her and can put the public's minds to rest as far as whether she's okay or not, please hit us in the comments, or at least stitch this video, or reply to this video, and let the public know that she's okay, because there's a lot of supporters of hers that are out there, and a lot of people are very worried and concerned about her safety. But as it is right now, nobody knows where she is. Jacinta's gone missing. Her accounts are all closed or banned. She's not able to be in contact with anybody, or nobody's able to be in contact with her. And South Africans are concerned. So let us know in the comments if you have any news reports on that.
To start this kind of program, and also, do you not think that your actions are xenophobic?
That's the very reason why we started this movement, because we are tired of being labeled as xenophobic every time we're trying to do the right thing for our country. And the fact that we keep being called xenophobic has made a lot of South Africans to sit back and be fearsome of what's going to follow. The international world is going to say, oh my God, South Africans are xenophobic. And we know for a fact we're not xenophobic. We can't be living with these people for so many years. And now, when we're saying it's too much, it's enough, we are told that we're xenophobic. People who are from outside of South Africa do not respect our laws. They don't respect our country. They don't respect us as South Africans. We see them tormenting us on social media all the time. We see them creating spaces like this where we are the ones that are scared to walk into those places because they want those places to be comfortable for themselves.
So there's been this assertion that undocumented, particularly African migrants, are behind crime in this country. Do you have statistics that can back up that claim?
Well, the Hawks had a press briefing, and I can show you the video where they confirm that 60% of all organized crime in the country is done by illegal immigrants. And we recently saw a letter from the Minister Senzo, who was confirming that most of these drug cartels are run by Nigerians. 6 of the 9 provinces have kingpins that are from Nigeria, and that's exactly why we're here, because here is a place that's called Lagos now, which is Point Road in Durban. It's known as a place that's called Nigeria now because there's so many Nigerians and other nationalities living here. They do drugs in front of everyone in broad daylight, in front of the police station. Yeah, definitely, because they're so brazen. They don't care. They bribe our police officers, and we told them this right in their faces. We told them, we know you're taking bribes, and so many incidents have happened after that where police were actually even asking bribes. And there's one of the people who was bribed today who went and opened a case from the very same police. So we're tired of this because it means that we now are not safe in our own country, because we've got people walking in and out of the border because our government doesn't seem to see it as a problem that our borders are just open and anyone can walk in. And then they come and live in our communities. They evict people who are South Africans. They take over these spaces. They take over tuck shops. You show all those shops.
South African laws allow them to do that.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They don't.
The fact that people do not get arrested once they have committed a crime, the fact that they are let go, it means that they believe that they can be a law unto themselves.
Can I make you an example so that you know that the law doesn't allow them? Recently, now, the court ruled that Johannesburg precinct South Africans, the bylaws need to be enforced, and those bylaws say it's South Africans that are supposed to be trading. But do you know that majority of the people that were trading there were foreigners? It's only now that South Africans are saying we're tired of our laws not being respected, that they're actually enforcing those bylaws and removing people who are not South African. Our laws do not allow for people who are undocumented to live in buildings. Our laws do not allow for people who are undocumented to run businesses and open the streets. They don't allow that. But you know, if you go and tell the police what they're going to tell you, we don't have the capacity, because that's what our police tell us all the time when we are trying to fight the crimes and the illegal activities that are going on in this country. They tell us they don't have the capacity.
That's
Now this is what is currently happening right now in Nigeria. Toddlers are amongst 50 school children kidnapped in Nigeria. And mind you, this is not the first time it's happening. This is a regular occurrence. It happens all the time because there is a belief that there's some Islamic terrorist groups that are kidnapping children. Why have you not heard about it as much as you've heard about the xenophobia? We need the same energy that Nigerians have been investing in making TikTok videos, shouting to the AU, shouting in their parliament about this, as much as they are making noise about xenophobia. The same xenophobia that doesn't have a single person who's died so far, but they keep creating it. Now you have women and children and toddlers that are being kidnapped in your country, but you are more worried about so-called xenophobia in South Africa when you know very well that week in and week out South Africans are showing you videos of Nigerian drug dealers running wild in the streets. And you guys want to tell us about African unity. If all these people across the African continent are serious about African unity, let's stand up for these toddlers. Let us stand up for these toddlers. The amount of noise and the amount of videos, the amount of TikToks, the amount of pressure that you are putting on South Africans about so-called xenophobia that doesn't exist because we were marching on the streets. We need that energy right now. That is the energy we need to save these children. And if you don't put in that much energy, then you are hypocrites. You are hypocrites. Because we need to see this African unity, this Pan-Africanism that you always talk about, this one Africa, there's no foreigner in Africa now, because these children need that energy right now more than ever. We need all these governments who are writing letters to our government about fake xenophobia to write to the Nigerian government, to write to the AU, to write to the Pan-Africanism Parliament, write to whoever and talk about this. We need that energy from the United Nations chairperson who was speaking about so-called xenophobia and how bad South Africa is. We need him to come now and talk about this. We need all that money that you keep putting in to keep these refugees and so-called asylum seekers that you keep in South Africa. Use that money to save these little girls. Save these little girls. Because we don't want this double standardness that you guys are doing right now. Now we need your voice. Add your voice. If you are busy making noise about South Africa and xenophobia, make noise about this. We are waiting. We'll help make it trend. Save these toddlers. And these same Nigerian men that had big mouths to talk about South African men being useless, what. One thing I know is that us as South Africans, we would have been out on the streets by now if this was happening in our country. We would have been out in the streets if this was happening in our country. So we want you now to prove yourselves, because you've been running your mouths about South Africa. But you can't keep quiet now if something this big is happening in your country. You can't be invested in South Africa if something this big is happening in your country. So we are demanding that you save these toddlers. And it calls for all of you who are making videos about South Africa to stand up for these toddlers. They did not ask to be born in an African country that cannot protect us. That's why we stand up and protect our country, because this is exactly what we don't want to happen in our country. We don't want this to happen. So you have a responsibility, all of you who are making videos about South Africa, and even those same South Africans who are defending so-called xenophobia, who are calling it Afrophobia, you have a responsibility to speak up about this as much as you are speaking up about xenophobia. Don't do the double standards thing. These children need you. And it's not about proving points here. It's about saving these children. We need that energy. We need that noise that you are making for these children. They didn't ask for this. So stand up and speak up about it.
Well, I am so happy Jacinta is safe and well. Yes, I am so happy that she's safe and, she's still standing strong. But I'm still wondering if June 30th will still happen. Yes, I'm still wondering, yeah. But anyway, don't forget to subscribe. Also share your thoughts in the comment section below. And like the video if you enjoyed watching it. Alright? Bye.